So let's talk a little bit about another applied concept that we're going to be doing a lot. Market equilibrium. Most of you are in the business fields and you know about demand and supply. Okay, demand being how much is being demanded by consumers. Supply, how much are suppliers supplying? And then we have the surplus. So notice these are both quantities. We usually call those Q or X. And then there's a surplus. And if you guys remember, supply and demand kind of looks like this. Okay, the demand function is this one because demand goes down as the price goes up. Okay, so this is price. This is X. Okay, so as the price goes down, more units are being more units are being demanded as the price drops. And supply, more units are being supplied. So micro equilibrium is happening right in the intersection of those two guys. So price results in the surplus results in more units being supplied than demanded. So if there's more units supplied than demanded, that's up here. That means the price is too high. Okay, so if you have too high a price, suppliers are like, yeah, I'm going to make more at that. I'm making lots of money. And consumers are like, that's too rich for my blood. Then we have a shortfall if there's fewer units being supplied than demanded. So that's happening. The price is too low. So if your price is too low, you don't have enough of something, price starts going up, right? Here, like here, what would happen? We have this much supplied, but this much is what we want demanded. This is bigger than this. So the price is too low. We raise the price a little bit, then we'd have them the same. Then market equilibrium is this wonderful place in the middle where supply quantity equals demand quantity. So let's talk a little bit about how we figure that out. Suppose the daily demand for a product is given by P equals, so that's price, equals 460 minus 2Q. Q is the number of units demanded and P is the price per unit in dollars. And that is the daily supply is given by P equals 190 plus 7Q, where Q is the number of units supplied and P is the price in dollars. Now again, micro equilibrium occurs when supply equals demand, when the quantity are the same. That is, when Q and B satisfy this system. Now we have these both in terms of P equals, so I can just take one of these and substitute it into here. It'd be 460 minus 2Q equals 190 plus 7Q. We're actually doing part C right now. So let's see what we have here. I'm going to make this positive just because I like positive numbers. They're fun. So 9Q equals 460 minus 190. If it was taking off 200 to be 260, so it's 270. Dividing both sides by 9, Q equals 30 units. Okay, so we have a quantity of 30 units. But the question is, what price gives market equilibrium? Well, for that, we've got to go back here. So for that, we need to say either one of these is fine. You pick one. 460 minus 2 times 30. 460 minus 60 is $400. And there you go. That answers this question right here. Now, if you want to use the other one, 190 plus 7 times 30, 190 plus 210. I'm hoping it is 400 because that makes it the equilibrium price. Now, Let's answer this A and B question that we had over here. A is, if the price is 300, how many units are supplied and how many are demanded? Okay, well, if our price is 300, then we have 300 equals, this is demand, 300 equals 460 minus 2Q. And supply would be 300 equals 190 plus 7Q. So let's figure this out. Negative 460. So this is negative 160 equals negative 2Q. So this quantity demanded would be 80 units. So 80 units would be demanded. But how many would be supplied? Minus 190 minus 190. So that's 110 is 7Q. Q equals, let's see. Oops. Close to 6, about 16. So you can see the problem here. At a price of 300, the suppliers say, I'm not making very much money at 300, so I'm only going to supply 16 units. That's all I can afford to produce if that's all that they're going to be paid for. But the demand is 80 units. So what's happening here? So in B, what's going on? So in B, this would be a shortfall. If they charge $300 for this, we wouldn't have enough. So let's see what happens about 500. So what happens at 500? So the demand would be 500 equals 460 minus 2Q. Supply 500 equals 190 plus 7Q. So let's solve this equation. Here we have 40 This one doesn't even make sense. Because the quantity demanded is 0. If it goes below 0, we just call it 0. It's too much. No one's going to want it. But the suppliers are like, yeah, sure, you're going to charge $500 for that. I'm in. So that's 310 equals 7Q. So Q is about 45. So at $500, nobody wants it. I mean, technically this would be negative 20, but quantity can't go negative, so we just call it 0. So what are you going to do? Okay. So that's the point actually at $460 is the point at which nobody wants it anymore. And the lowest that the suppliers will go is 190 to produce any at all. So there you go. So this one's about 45 units, and we would definitely have a surplus because no one's going to buy it at $500.